Let's talk about the S&P 500, stock symbol SPY. We'll do the ETF here. Going back to late January, it has been stuck in a sideways consolidation pattern. Very, very tight pattern that has just honestly bored me to death. And finally today, it looks like we may be breaking out of that pattern. If that's the case, that's huge. That actually opens up the door to a lot of really good long opportunities going forward. So let's go ahead in this video. I'm going to map out the case for how this market is setting up really well for a further upside going forward. So let's go ahead and get to it right now. Now, I said the market's been trading sideways going back to late January, but really you could broaden it out and say it's even been since like November. I mean, it has really been stuck in some serious sideways consolidation. It hasn't had any direction whatsoever since the beginning of November. Today, that's starting to change. There's actually some optimism that the market may finally be breaking out. Now, that comes from somebody who is just short today. Now, if you would have told me over the course of the past month, we would have an AI disruption, that we would have tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and that we would have CPI come in hot and PPI come in hot, and that this market would be trading at all-time highs, I would have thought you were crazy. But that's what we're dealing with. So from a bearish standpoint, you've had everything that you could possibly ask go in your favor from a headline standpoint. Right here, the AI disruption. What did we do? We opened lower, we finished higher. You had the tariffs. We opened significantly lower, we closed higher than where we opened up at. And then again yesterday, we had the hot CPI report. We opened significantly lower, finished higher on the day. You go back 8 out of the last 9 days here. What do you have? You have this market trading higher than where it opened up at each and every time. That's not something that people are really pointing out, but even on the down days, for the most part, especially when they come from significant gaps lower, we're finishing higher on the day. So there's this constant mentality, whether it's zero DTEs, buybacks, or whatever it might be, there is this consistent tendency to want to buy this dip. Now look at another thing here. I would point out that you have this propensity to continue to close above this 50-day moving average each and every time. So we've seen that here continue to play itself out. In fact, yesterday with the CPI report, we gapped down, tested it, and immediately bounced. So that's another tendency that I've seen come about in this market of late. Finally, well, I shouldn't say finally. There's a few more points that I'm going to pull out for you here. I don't know why I said finally, but on January 13th, when we had a significant gap lower, it started what we didn't know at the time, a rising trend line. It tested it right here on February 3rd when we had the tariffs, and then it tested it again yesterday, and each time it has bounced. Now, where it gets a little bit more bullish, because we've been trading in this sideways pattern forever, you get rid of today, you can see that's really been an extremely low volume environment. These days where we've seen like endless buying, it's been on very low volume. Today, a little bit better, just a shade below average there. But look at this. You have a little bit of a breakout there finally. Every time we got up to this level, we kept selling off hard and fast. Today, we broke right through it. We saw initially on an intraday standpoint, I'll pull that up. You can see where we tested it and we started to pull back some, forming this bull flag pattern just underneath resistance and then pushing to the upside. So going back to the daily, we finally got that breakout to the upside. That makes it to where it's a little bit easier to want to get long going forward here. So going from being bearish, I took like a 1.6% loss on a one position. I only had one position going on. I wasn't what you would call super bearish or uber bearish. I was slightly bearish. I was primarily cash, and so I added SDS. I guess it was like late last week, Friday, on this particular sell-off right here. And ever since then, it's just gone sideways until today. We got the PPI report, and for whatever reason, it was received bullish. The reason doesn't really matter. It's really about what the charts say and what the technicals say. And in this case, it's popping. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if this market wants to continue to the upside. I think it sets up well. You can look at the past, price history where there's been significant periods of consolidation, whether it's going back here, we can zoom back. Like for one, we had a little bit of a pullback, some consolidation, and we broke to the upside right here, but it's probably one of the more notable ones in late 2023 and into 2024. We had already been on a pretty good run here. We consolidated for the better part of a couple months, and then we broke out to the upside. So the potential for there to be a rally like that does loom large. In the end, I really don't care which direction the market goes. It can go up, it can go down. I just want a direction. I want to be able to trade it. And whether that means, more to the upside, which surprises me a little bit. I thought we were in a pretty heavy distribution period here. That's fine. I'll go ahead and trade to the long side. Now, one area that I would be cautious of is this layer right here. You have still some resistance that may come back into play. Now, we broke out the short-term resistance right here, the one that had been playing out over the past month, but you have some other resistance, tighten that up a little bit, that could be still in play. Not so sure how much that comes into play here, but we have seen some rejections in the past at this level. The volume today, the move today looked pretty good, enough for me to go ahead and take a chance on it. If we break out to it on the upside tomorrow, even better. You'll find that there's a lot of channels out there that want to tell you that the sky is falling, that everything is doom and gloom, or you got to find out what the next hot play is or whatever. That's not the purpose of this channel. What I'm trying to do is give you facts, give you knowledge, give you the insight that pretty much no other channel is willing to do. To be frank, to be honest with you, and that's what we're doing right here. If you enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to like and subscribe. It helps me out, helps to continue to push good content out there that's trying to provide you clear and understandable, digestible technical analysis. Well, let me know down in the comments below, what did you make of today's move? What do you think it holds for going forward? Do you think that we need to be getting more bullish on this market here with today's move? Or are you still staying bearish? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys, and God bless.